you're watching GW News Recap. I'm Azan Jamir bringing to you the top stories of the week. Let's have a look at the stories that matter to the headlines. A controversial move by the Nagaland government to regularize 147 contractual assistant professors and librarians has triggered widespread debate and backlash across the state. In a move that could have implications for the Naga peace process, the son of Isaac Chishisu, Ikato Chishisu, has announced that he's joining Myanmar-based leaders. In a major development regarding the National Socialist Council of Nagaland, GPRN-NSCN and Kitovi Group has taken over the Gihoi camp in Newland. Israeli strikes in Gaza have killed more than 90 people in the last 48 hours. Gaza Health Ministry said as Israeli troops ramp up attacks to pressure Hamas to release its hostage and disarm. Now let's have a look at the news in details. A controversial move by the Nagaland government to regularize 147 contractual assistant professors and librarians has triggered widespread debate and backlash across the state, raising concerns of recruitment transparency, institutional integrity, and fairness in the higher education system. Criticism came from academic forums and aspirant groups who viewed the regularization as a bypassing of fair recruitment procedures. Showing their resentment towards the decision, Combined Technical Association of Nagaland and Nagaland Net Qualified Forum held protests for the 2 consecutive days on April 16 and 17. The two organizations have questioned how individuals appointed on fixed pay against non-sanctioned posts after June 6, 2016 could be regularized without open competition through the Nagaland Public Service Commission. Under the boring REN, NET and PhD qualified aspirants scattered outside the Directorate of Higher Education in Kohima, holding placards and banners demanding immediate cancellation of what they describe as backdoor appointments. With no positive response from the Directorate of Higher Education, SIDAN and NNQF have announced that the protest will resume tomorrow, that is April 21st. In what may be termed as the rarest occasion, state capital Kohima will witness 2 different party of protesters over one issue tomorrow. In a move that could have implications over the Naga peace process, the son of National Socialist Council of Nagaland, Isaac Moiva, led founding leader Isaac Chishisu, Ikato Chishisu, has announced that he's joining Myanmar-based leaders. Ikato joining dissident NSCN leaders Lieutenant General retired H.S. Ramsan and Lieutenant General Absalan Raman across the border in Myanmar to continue the struggle. In a statement, Ikato claimed that some top leaders of the NSCN had become corrupt and started compromising the Naga national interests for their own selfish gain. Ramsan, the vice chairman and an executive member of the NSCN's steering committee, and Raman, the deputy commander of the Naga army, are dissident leaders of the outfit and are known for their hardline approach on the Naga political issue with a vowed belief in armed struggle. The NSCN expelled both who are based in Myanmar at present last July for anti-national activities, fraternizing with anti-nationals, anti-Naga entities, and waging war against the Naga nation. Ikato joining them could adversely impact the NSCN's credibility among the Nagas from Nagaland, as the outfit's General Secretary and Atukilonse, T.H. Moiva, is a Tangkhul Naga from Manipur. Much of the top leadership of the outfit is also dominated by Tangkhuls. The presence of Isaac Chishisu, who was from Nagaland, and Ikato following his death gave the NSCN the image of a united Naga leadership coming from both Manipur and Nagaland. If Ikato, along with Ramsan and Raman, raises a new faction of the NSCN, it may weaken Moiva's position and further queer the pitch for an already embattled Naga peace deal. In his statement, Ikato described in detail the Naga political struggle, the various agreements with the center, and his father's role. He has also accused the center of backtracking on the framework agreement for Naga peace deal signed in 2015. In a major development regarding the National Socialist Council of Nagaland, GPRN-NSCN and Kitovi Group has taken over the Gihoi camp in Newland district. Previously, this camp was occupied by the NSCN faction led by Atukilonse Alezoveno and Commander-in-Chief Samson Ayami. He retook the camp in a faultless takeover on March 22, some 11 months after he was impeached and subsequently expelled from the GPRN-NSCN by his former comrades. Speaking on the event, he did not specifically cite the agreed position entered between the Government of India and the Working Committee, Naga national political groups of which he was the convener. But he said that the Nagas, or the Indo-Naga political imbroglio, was nearing a resolution when he was illegally removed from the post of Artukilonser and expelled from the GPRN-NSCN by the Nyokpao Alezo-led group. He then went on to detail the turn of events which he alleged led to his April 21, 2024 impeachment and subsequently expulsion. The issues he questioned including missing revenue and an alleged case of missing weapons from the armory. Some 68 weapons and an unspecified number of ammunition reportedly went missing from the armory. He termed the reunion program as an occasion of commemorating the coming together of a family that was once divided. Major General Kieto Chimomi, General Staff Officer, one of the general headquarters, had sided with the Nyokpao Alezo camp when Chimomi was expelled from the GPRN-NSCN to later switch allegiance. According to Chimomi, the frequent power struggle in the Naga political movement has compelled the Naga army to take a firm stand against internal bickering in the civil political setup. The Guwahati High Court Kohima bench on April 16 declined to grant an interim stay on a complaint and FIR citing alleged sexual harassment against Reny Wilfred, a Nagaland Qatar IS officer and Joint Secretary of the Investment and Development Authority of Nagaland. In a writ petition, the officer challenged a written complaint addressed to the Director General of Police Nagaland by the Nagaland State Commission for Women and the subsequent first information report registered on April 2, 2025 based on the said complaint. The petitioner's counsel argued that the complaint does not disclose any specific offence against the alleged accused and that the allegations are vague and general in nature. It was further submitted that cognizance of any offence under the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013 can only be taken by a magistrate upon a written complaint by the victim or an authorised person. Therefore, the FIR registered by the police was contended to be without legal authority. Accordingly, the petition sought quashing of the complaint and FIR, or in the alternative interim relief in the form of suspension of the impunged complaint and FIR during the pendency of the petition, noting that the alleged accused is a serving government employee. Opposing the plea, the state respondent argued that granting such relief would affect the momentum of the investigation currently in progress. Further hearing, the parties observed that the court was not inclined to grant any interim stay at this stage and issued notices returnable within 4 weeks. The public prosecutor was directed to produce the updated case diary on the next date of hearing. All respondents were granted liberty to file objections if so advised. The court stated that the interim prayer would be considered at a later stage. Paving the way for framing of criminal charges against former Congress President Sonia Gandhi and leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, and their trial in the National Herald money laundering case, Enforcement Directorate on April 9 filed a prosecution complaint in the case involving alleged proceeds of crime worth Rs 5,000 crore. The Special MLA Court April 15 fixed April 25 as the next date of hearing to decide on taking cognizance of the charge sheet in what marks a major turn in the case against the Gandhis and people close to them. Sonia and Rahul, named as accused number 1 and 2 respectively in the charge sheet, unsuccessfully moved courts to get ED's proceedings quashed. Both are on bail. ED sources said 5 individuals and 2 companies have been named as accused in the charge sheet. One is Young Indian, a firm in which the Gandhis have controlling stake. Other accused include their close family friends Sam Pitroda, head of Congress Overseas Branch, and Suman Dubey. ED has reportedly produced documentary evidence of the money trial and other transactions in support of its claims. It has already questioned Sonia and Rahul and Congress ex-treasuries Motilal Vora and Oscar Fernandez several times in the case in the past few years. Their statements are believed to be part of the prosecution complaint. ED said it had started proceedings to take possession of attached Rs 750 crore properties of AJL, including land and buildings in Mumbai, Delhi, and Lucknow. Israeli strikes in Gaza have killed more than 90 people in the last 48 hours, Gaza's health ministry said, as Israeli troops ramp up attacks to pressure Hamas to release its hostages and disarm. The deaths include 15 people who were killed overnight, among them women and children, some of who were sheltering in a designated humanitarian zone, according to the hospital staff. At least 11 people were killed in the southern city of Khan Yunis, several of them in a tent in the Muasi area where hundreds of thousands of displaced people are living, hospital workers said. Israel has designated it as a humanitarian zone. 4 other people were killed in separate strikes in Rafah city, including a mother and her daughter, according to the European hospital where the bodies were brought. Israel has vowed to intensify attacks across Gaza and occupy large security zones inside the Strip. For 6 weeks, Israel also has blockaded Gaza, barring the entry of food and other goods. This week, aid groups raised alarm, saying that thousands of children have become malnourished and most people are barely eating one meal a day as stocks dwindle, according to the United Nations. The war began when Hamas-led militants attacked southern Israel on October 7, 2023, killing about 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and abducting 251. Most of the hostages have since been released on ceasefire agreements or other deals. Israel's offensive has since killed over 51,000 Palestinians, mostly women and children, according to the Gaza's health ministry, which does not distinguish between civilians and combatants. The war has destroyed vast parts of Gaza and most of its food production capabilities. The war has displaced around 90% of the population, with hundreds of thousands of people living in tent camps and bombed out buildings. Well, that's it for this week's news recap. For more news like this, you stay connected to Global Window. Good night.